that it was done to prime the population with not just the fright as a psychological operation or what's called psyops.
Oh yeah, well fear as well also very much weakens your immune system as well, as you know. I mean, you very much know what's going on with the energy and all that sort of thing. But continue, please.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so now just what you just said is, you're probably not a physician, but you know that.
Oh yeah.
Right. So now just the fact that you, a layperson, would know that, and that as a result you could, through common sense, deduce that there's going to be a lot of people harmed, and then when you start to do the research and find out how devastating fear and its ramifications are, including the acidification of the body chemistry to make the entire being more susceptible to opportunistic illnesses. And then on top of that, what about the 6% of the population who are already paranoid, who are already depressed, who are already so afraid that they literally don't shake hands with people, and many of them are agoraphobics. They don't go outside. They don't want to venture out. And when you tell them that you've got the world's worst flu virus, going around, they do not go out, and they shudder in their homes, and they will kill themselves, some of them, and quite a number of them, because when you talk about 6% of the population at minimum, multiply that 6% times 350 million or 370 million in the United States alone. And now you realize the numbers that you're dealing with and the amount of people that would be then killed and certainly harmed from this malfeasant direction of the mainstream media by our government officials who allege to be public health advocates and concerned citizens and experts. Now you realize that there's an absolute gross violation of the public's faith in public health, in Centers for Disease Control, in the UK organizations that are advancing these types of frights and flus. And so that's just number one. But getting back to the question is, what is the worst of these? What is the most plausible or likely reasons for them? What was the motivation for them? And sure, it was financial, but I think most concerning is the behind closed doors discussions that Dr. Robertson had with Dr. Wood, with the World Health Organization, in planning for the future of biodefense or biopreparedness. And the plan called for the priming of populations. That word priming should be quoted, it's quoted, and it should be remembered. In essence, what they discussed was that, now again, these are the top world experts. These are the people who are most responsible and turned to by our governments, the Anglo-American government, that is, certainly Britain and U.S., and then there goes Canada, and there goes most of the world that is currently under globalistic or neo-colonialistic geopolitics and economics.
That's a big chunk of the world too. That's my country as well, Australia.
Yeah, exactly, Australia. And so that you realize that wherever the Queen is, you've got the British economic machine and the German Britain. It's more really, the background is that the bankers, I call them the banksters of Germany and Britain. So these guys now, they've got their paws into biotechnology because it's a huge investment, it has been, and they've got a lot of money, and they've got a world agenda. They've got a new world order, and they've got a depopulation agenda evolving where they're looking forward to killing at least half of us, if not more. And it really exceeds even more than that. Many people are suggesting that 90% of the population be culled.
Yeah, I've actually done a lot of talks on that myself, and some of the YouTube films I've put out and stuff as well. I've covered a lot of that. But go on, please.
Yeah, so the priming of the population before any major outbreak is what was determined to be the most reasonable policy to advance, and they would do it covertly, because you got to think about this. How would you elicit worldwide support for an injection program, for a virtually experimental vaccine, and even a vaccine for something that hasn't even come out yet in advance? How would you go about persuading the public to roll up their shirt sleeves and allow you to be injected, infected, intoxicated, and virtually mutated, because that's what they're asking you to do, is take vaccines that are recombinants? So that this is now the question for your public relations and marketing people. If you're at the forefront of advancing expensive vaccinations for government stockpiling and public consumption, the number one question is it viable? Is your plan viable? How are you going to get these people to actually buy it and take this stuff? And it's obvious. It's like common sense. And any fool in any business with any business sense would know that that's what happens. So this is what they've done behind closed doors. They figure, okay, well, we're going to have to prime the population, and how are they going to do that? It's got to be a covert operation.
Yeah, very much. I mean, you'll find that the vaccine will probably have a lot of the actual virus in it as well. I mean, these vaccines are terrible. I know you've done a lot of work on that sort of stuff yourself.
Exactly. All right, so you begin to see this whole thing unraveling. It's just not what you think it is or what it appears to be. And that's part of the gross deception of Babylon. Babylon, I call it Babylon. What I see is the globalist checkboard or checkerboard, engaged by the military, medical, petrochemical, pharmaceutical cartel. It's like one global beast. So we call it Babylon. And so it's like the emperor's got no clothes, and there's guys like you and me screaming. Maybe it hasn't reached the 100th monkey, maybe it has, but there's at least very shortly, right now I believe, we're engaging the 100th monkey, where 100 of us are on the sidelines as the parade's marching and yelling, hey, this is a gross genocidal scam. The emperor governments have got no clothes. They're completely exposed. They're totally in the nude. And the parade keeps marching.
Yeah, I've been screaming the same message myself, Dr. Horowitz. I've actually got an intention happening as well. It's been going on every Saturday night at 10 o'clock. Everyone feels the intention for the whole planet, for humanity. Put the love into the field. Put the right energy out there. So I've had that going on for the last month as well. The 2000 PNAC document actually talks of a need to develop biological weapons, and says that advanced forms of biological warfare that can target specific genotypes may transform biological warfare from the realms of terror to a political useful tool. So it seems like we're being attacked by these toxins on all levels, like vaccinations that very much appear to do a great deal more harm than good. I mean, it's happening through all the chemicals in the food, through genetic manipulation of the food, things like aspartame and all these things that affect brain function. I mean, where do you feel that all this sort of manipulation is heading, all this genetic stuff that they're doing, and the food additives and the vaccines and everything that they're doing?
Well, hold that question. I'll come back to that one. Let me just respond to something else that you had mentioned, that you have prayer sessions and positive affirmation sessions, spiritual evolution sessions happening routinely. That's what we have, and we came many years ago. In fact, I came to the conclusion that was what was required for us to really make a huge difference and get out of this lunacy and hypocrisy.
I absolutely believe that as well, Dr. Horowitz. I've had this going for a month now on my website, thecrowhouse.com. It's called The Great Intention, and we've got quite a few thousand people around the world, so it's everybody all at the same time putting this energy into the field. And I believe that we are making a difference. Everybody seems to have wonderful days that day, anyway. Every Saturday night, everyone has a wonderful night afterwards. So.
That's great. Okay, listen, this is a wonderful synchronicity, because right now we're planning to do this on a huge way worldwide with the Concert for the Living Water, Live H2O. Concert for the Living Water. Go to www.liveh2o.org and get everyone you know to be with us mark their calendars right now, about 6 weeks from now, is June the 21st, 2009, at 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock East Coast, and you can figure out what it is in Australia, elsewhere. We're going to have venues internationally.
Excellent.
You can already go to see the television programming. For the first time in history, we're going to bring your voice, people's voices all over the world together and channel them into the living water worldwide, which is a superconductor. It's a liquid crystal superconductor.